This is how her parents' spirits protected her from another attack. Before we begin the story, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Do not forget to like, comment, and hit the notification bell for more interesting stories. As Obia reached for Amina, a cold wind swept through the night. Obia froze, shivering, and looked around nervously. A faint glow appeared between them, and Amina felt a warm, strange strength fill her. Her parents' spirits appeared in the light, their faces showing both sadness and anger. Her father's voice boomed through the night. "You will not harm her again!" Obuya stumbled back, fear all over his face. He tried to speak, but his words made no sense. Her mother's voice followed, calm but firm. "Justice will find you, Obuya!" The truth cannot stay hidden. The spirit stayed close to Amina as Obuya ran off into the dark, his screams fading. That night, Amina told Miss Atieno everything. Miss Atieno quickly reached out to the women's group for help. "We must protect her," said Mama Grace firmly. "Obuya cannot hurt her again." The women surrounded Amina with support and urged her to report Obuya to the authorities. Amina hesitated, scared of what might happen next. "Justice isn't easy," Mama Grace said gently, "but you deserve to live without fear." With their help, Amina gathered courage and filed a report. The questions were tough and invasive, but she pushed through. Obuya denied the accusations, but the case made people aware of Amina's struggle. The village was divided. Some people supported Amina, while others accused her of seeking attention. But Amina stood strong, determined to face what was ahead. She had survived betrayal, abuse, and loss. She would survive this too. As her due date approached, Mama Grace and Miss Atieno helped her prepare for motherhood. Their kindness and care brought Amina some peace. Her journey was far from over, but for the first time in a while, she felt a bit of hope. With the women's group backing her, Amina's case against Obuya began. Witnesses stepped forward, encouraged by her bravery. They shared dark truths about Obuya. The growing pressure forced the authorities to act. During the trial, Amina often felt her parents' presence in her dreams. Their voices gave her strength and love to keep going. The day her baby was born was both terrifying and beautiful. The labor was long, but Mama Grace stayed by her side, guiding her with soothing words. At dawn, a loud cry echoed in the room. Amina held her baby girl close, naming her Nima, which means grace. The name reflected the kindness that had helped her survive. But her joy was quickly clouded by her tough reality. She had no steady income, no proper home, and the trial loomed over her. Obuya's influence was strong, and he spread lies, claiming she wanted money. Some villagers turned against her. Still, Amina refused to give up. The women's group held fundraisers, giving her food, clothes, and even helping her rent a small room in Homa Bay. It wasn't much, but to Amina, it felt like a safe haven. 3 months after Nima's birth, a court summons arrived. Amina's case was set for hearing. Fear filled her as she thought about reliving that awful night. But Nima's innocent face gave her the strength to move forward. Mama Grace and Miss Atieno went with her to court. Obuya sat confidently with his lawyer, who tried to paint Amina as a liar. Amina's voice shook as she told her story, but she didn't back down. She described Obuya's betrayal, leaving the courtroom silent. Mama Grace also testified, explaining the deep toll the ordeal had taken on Amina. The trial dragged on for weeks, draining Amina, but she kept going. Not just for herself, but for Nima and all the girls who needed courage. One day, after court, Amina came home to find her room trashed. Her belongings were destroyed, and on the wall were the words, "Drop the case or else." Fear gripped her as she hugged Nima tightly. She reported it to the police, but they brushed it off as a prank. She told Mama Grace, who arranged for her to stay with Wanjiru, another woman from the group. Wanjiru's home, filled with laughter and warmth, became a safe place for Amina and Nima. Still, Amina couldn't shake her fear. She prepared for court during the day and prayed for strength at night. The women in the group reminded her that she wasn't alone. On the final day of the trial, the courtroom was packed. Amina sat nervously, holding Nima close. The judge read the verdict. Obuya was guilty and sentenced to 5 years in prison. Gasps filled the room. Amina's tears flowed as relief washed over her. Justice was served, though she knew her journey wasn't over. Outside, reporters swarmed her. "How do you feel about the verdict?" one asked. Amina held Nima close and said, "I'm grateful for justice. Now I'll focus on building a future for my daughter." With the trial behind her, Amina started rebuilding her life. The women's group helped her start a small business, making baskets and mats. It wasn't much, but it gave her hope. Miss Atieno encouraged her to return to school. "You have so much potential, Amina," she said. Balancing work, school, and motherhood was exhausting, but Amina stayed determined. She often studied late at night by a small lamp, with Nima sleeping beside her. Over time, her hard work paid off. Her business grew, and she moved to a bigger home. The women's group became like family. Together, they organized workshops to teach girls about their rights. Amina's story inspired others to speak out. One day, speaking to a group of young girls, Amina felt proud. "Your voice matters," she said. "Never let anyone silence you." Nima, now a lively toddler, filled Amina's days with laughter. Her journey was still hard, but Amina faced it with hope and strength. The scars of her past no longer defined her. They showed how far she had come. At night, holding Nima, Amina often looked to the sky, feeling her parents' love watching over her. Their guidance had carried her through the darkest times, and she vowed to live a life of strength and purpose.